Hello, children of the night, and welcome to Terror Nights with the Hanged Empress. Here we do shadow work following the moon.
Yo, VI, play the beat.
Rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. Rock the boat, don't tip the boat over. Rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. I don't even know what that song is, but I know it. We're back on the boat themes, kids. Welcome to your Cancer new moon. The flood is coming. The rains are falling. Not literally. It rained a bit yesterday, but now it is cloudy, windy, and 76 feels cold. Kind of nice. Kind of nice. It's not bad. It's not bad. Overall, in general, feelings about it, it's not bad. It's not good. It's not bad either. I think there's a lot of stuff that's bubbling up in this Cancer water. There's a lot of stuff that's getting washed up and out of us, even. So there might be an excess amount of toxicity and a highlight on our fears and anxieties, worries about reality. It's all very real. All of the problems that you're facing right now, the reality of that is crashing over us. But are we on shore or are we on a ship? Is there a hole in the ship? Or are we standing in safety? And what does safety even mean to us? What does comfort and stability even look like for us? I feel like some of us have been lost at sea for so long, we might not even remember, she says. We might not even remember, she says. Like, so many of us have been lost at shore. There's a couple here, but I'm looking at the moon, the dogs, and the Cancer crab. Okay, something about the Sagittarius full moon. I don't know, I just heard Sagittarius, felt an arrow being shot in the air, and it went out into the ocean, and it lit a Viking's funeral on the water. Yeah. That's what needs to happen in the center of this circle of these 7 cups, in the center of this circle of the moon, in the face of our emotions. We need to set our target and aim a flaming arrow to light this baby up and give it a proper goodbye. Send it off in flames. Okay, I didn't know what Cancer new moon was going to bring. Honestly, my energy was a little bit off myself, feeling that toxicity just bubbling up out of me because I don't want it anymore. I don't want to be practice and feel toxic. I think we don't want to be practice and feel toxic in our environment, in our situations. We don't want to feel like we're standing in the middle of the swamp, but when you're standing in the middle of the swamp, how can you be anything other than lost and angry and frustrated with your circumstance and your situation, right? Because you know that you walked yourself out here into the middle of this swamp, and now what? Now what are you gonna do? What are you supposed to do? We have to make a face out of those emotions. Do we understand our our circumstances and situations? Do we understand our environment now and how it affects us? We act like we don't know what to do, but is it really that? Do we really know what's truly affecting us? What's truly pulling on our emotions? Because this moon, as it grows, as it gets more illuminated, less illuminated, um, pushes and pulls away from the earth, it affects the tides. All of it affects the tides. It affects how big our emotions are, how overwhelming they can be, or how small and underwhelming they can be. And all of these things are kind of dictated by all the different positions and influences around us, back to the environment. I hope I'm drawing these circles into a line. I was explaining how I can geometry and math to my kid the other day, but with English. Like, I'm not great with the numbers, but with letters and concepts, pictures and ideas, it's all very mathematical. I just can't math that out for you. That's why we have astrologers who study the stars and are great with the maths, who can look to those skies and make a face and trace meaning and correlate for us. It's not even a question of like, oh, I need to know this or I don't know this. Shh, quiet. We just gotta be quiet. Shut up. Everything that's bubbling up and bursting out of us, we can see the face, we can trace it to the space, we can be the astrologers and make our line of trajectory, but we might have to be quiet in order to pull back and get ready to release. But we have to set that ship out and we have to send it off. And that might be a relationship or multiple relationships. That might be a job, a place. I don't know. Place your own noun, honestly. Trying to broaden the scope right now is only going to cause more confusion, delusion, and inability to see clearly. That is just the fog of the mist being spread through the air. However, maintaining our trajectory, understanding and seeing the face in the moon and where and how our environment is affecting us is going to give us the conclusions that we need. What is in between? I've been talking this whole time on these two cards, just flipping them. We have Four Pentacles in the midst of the choice. Getting grounded in between that space of not knowing. Literally, is just illustrating everything that I was saying without even knowing that this card was in here. But stacking up your four corners, your four elements, and structuring yourself in the foundation, making the square out of the circle. We have the circle, the spiral of lost and confusion and knowing but not wanting to know or acknowledge, regard how we got here fully, not fully seeing things, the whole picture, because we're circling and spiraling in and out, taking that shape and making our four cornered square the magic square to give ourselves that stability and that grounding in order to take aim and shoot through the ring of the moon, through our emotions. Yeah, because the last time we had the swords dropping down into our waters, now we're kind of firing off into it. Time is an illusion. This is all an illusion. Take it as it resonates. But it's fine. We are okay. We are capable of holding our ground. Staying true and resisting the urge to go overboard. Just heard that. The urge to go overboard. Told you we were heavy with the Maritimes. Back out on the ocean. Alright. Sorry, time is an illusion, but we have to do some hop, skips, and jumps to get back on the right timeline. And maintaining our timeline is pertinent to how we handle the weathers and the storms that come our way, tracing the face of our emotional reactions to the space and the environment that supports those kinds of negative emotional reactions, that creates them, that contributes to them, and how that serves. And just shooting your shot through it, honestly, just shooting your shot right through it. Not asking questions, not asking for permission to do so either is very important. I've got this Queen of Pentacles sitting on top of the deck, looking out onto the Two of Cups, and I can see Temperance poking out as well. Okay, I had to make sure I said all of those words right. Because we're still bouncing, hopping. I'm still looking at things from all different angles. And I think that math is very important right now. That's why we were talking about astrologers, and that's why we were talking about the squares and the geometry and the shapes and all of the different ways that we can manipulate our environment with even the simplest elements of earth and water, which is the major representations here. But putting it out on an actual map. So I was doing this morning too. I was drawing out the line of a conversation and a paragraph. And deja vu, super weird. Sidetracked. There's like energy that is trying to get our attention and is like, wait, wait, I see you now. I hear you now. No, you don't. Do you? Do you hear me, though? Do you understand what it is I'm saying? Do you, though? What kind of environment is that over there? Putting it onto the axis, drawing our lines. We have our positive and our negative. And we have left and we have right. And in these four corners of this box, in our magic square, we compartmentalize our elements for our basic alchemy of functionality. And there are energies trying to get up into our graph or stay on our graph as a level of importance. But the reason that these integers are no longer being placed is because the entire graph has changed now. We changed the title, we changed the subject, and we changed all of the algorithms to how we are measuring this data. And now we're looking in the true space, not in the illusion, not in the delusion, not in complete chaos, ordinance. Here, in this space, in this place. This is our square that we made out of these spiraling circles of energy. And when we isolate down into this square, it becomes our new graph. And we can draw a line inside of that graph and start to square off again. Whole new chapter, a whole new set of math for us and data for us to coordinate and organize and align. Sorry, this is so very heavy Virgo. I can't not. Okay? This is how I'm seeing it and this is how I'm understanding it. So hopefully you're picking up and translating these and applying them into your life because I'm not talking math here. And I want you to know that. I'm using math as a way to explain how I see the movement of energy, and we're building a recipe in alchemy. We're cooking. But in order to cook, you got to do a little bit of math. And we're just sitting here, not really saying much, figuring it all out, figuring out those connections. Validating our sources. We're validating our sources. Yeah. And it's not one person, place, or thing either. It's all of it. It's an ocean, kids. This is the Cancer new moon. The arc is here. We've been talking about that arc. This is Noah's arc right here. We are in the arc now. The change of trajectory. Yes. Now we are being reminded of the other things that we do value that are important, returning our focus into how can we make enough room and space for all of those things. Too much and not enough. I've got too much of this and not enough of that. And somehow we ended up with this Seven of Pentacles that like grew, but it didn't really grow quite right. We need to do some things. We either need to give up on this tree, this bush, this plant entirely, or we need to severely prune and cut this thing back so that it grows. This is reminding me of my rose bushes. I had some beautiful rose bushes. If you follow me on IG, you've seen me post pictures of my flowers because I'm just so happy and excited and proud of them when they show up because they're so gorgeous. And I just love me and my flowers so much. But this year, I didn't trim them back enough in the fall, and they almost didn't come back in, like at all. One of them is just now starting to like resprout and grow. And the other one is actually doing fairly well. You know, it's regrowing, but like I'm not getting any flowers. We're already into June and I have no flowers, no roses to be seen or heard from because I didn't cut back enough. I still had too much of that thick woody stem that was sapping all of the energy and it was not supporting new growth. And that's all of the stuff that I'm getting off of the Seven of Pentacles is we need to either severely prune, which is what I did early this spring when I realized that they were not going to grow back. I cut them all the way down. There was just like this much left. Some of those rose like woody stems were like thick. too. They had gotten quite large. they was they were not easy to cut through, and the thorns on these things were gigantic, just crazy huge. Which is actually kind of better. I prefer larger thorns because they're easier to navigate, obviously. But point being, there was so much dead wood and thick thorns that there was no new life that could be had. It had to go. It all had to go. I cut it all back and just let nature take its course, let it do its thing. And what ended up happening was I got new growth. Geez, I saw the devil without even looking at that. Like, just, what? Yeah, I know, right? I'm saying. I'm saying there is a dead tree that is supporting a lot of useful life, and when it falls down, it's going to take a lot of stuff with it. A lot of stuff is going to be crushed underneath the weight of it. Spotted the tower in there too. Eight of Pentacles reversed. This is all earth and water, kids. This is all earth and water, yeah. Where are we going? What are we doing? What are we really working towards? We need to choose and jump on our ship. Which way are we going? Are we working towards being the self that is teaching the next generation how to be better people? Or are we just doing what everybody else has always done for all of time and conceding, seceding to being a shitty person, to not caring? 2121 on the counter. There we go. Taking those steps back. Wait. What are we building towards here? What's our common goal? Are we even on the same page? Is this what I want to teach my kids? Is this how I want to run myself? Don't work yourself down into the ground. Work from the ground up. Just staring at the skull at the bottom of the Seven of Pentacles now. Time is not on your side. We may want to think that we have all the time in the world to pull ourselves together to get it right, but if we don't act right now, you don't. Nothing is guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed. Did I get you that skull, or is it like not? There we go. That's what I'm staring at right here. That's the empty holes are just staring right through my soul. It's like, no, don't you forget. Don't you forget that there is an end, that this does all stop at some point or another. And if you were to stop right now, where are you at? If you were to stop tomorrow, where are you going to be? What side of the line? Do you think there's going to be time for you to just jump back over onto the right side after continually choosing to let things grow out of your control? Are you going to cut back? Are you going to do some pruning so that you can get that new growth? Are you going to relocate? Plant something new? Start something fresh? Because now is the time to make those decisions. Are you on the boat or off the boat? Who are you tugging along behind you? And are they weighing your ship down? Will they cause your ship to crash? I'm taking this. It slid into my hand. It could have gone in, but I chose to grab and hold on to this star. It could have just slipped right back into the deck, and we could have never known the destiny that we were capable of. What the next chapter could have looked like, if only we could just balance ourselves and pour into both spaces evenly and cleanly. with grace and control. We have to be able to put that in to perspective. And that's how we give ourselves the opportunity to take that star and pull it out. Because it's offered, but it's only going to pass by so quickly. It's like it's on a little conveyor belt moving past us. All you have to do is pick it up and grab it. But you can't grab it if your hands are still tied behind you. So we gotta release. Cut free. Break free. Burn it out. 8 wands coming in. Now we have more arrows dropping down from the sky onto that Viking funeral pyre out in the ocean. Seeds blowing in the wind, making their way in the world, finding new spaces. We have the opportunity here to claim this emperor for ourselves, this throne, this entire empire. But we need to get the alchemy right, and we need to build our foundation on the truth that we hold. Put our focus there and get our goals aligned, moving actually towards them and not away from them. Quit fighting against yourself. Quit growing into branches that are not healthy, helping. They're only sapping your energy. Cut it all back. Take that foggy circle and make it into a square. Quit spiraling out and start making your foundation. I knew it was going to be a big one, kids. I didn't know what was going to come out. I didn't know how it was going to come out. I didn't know how we were even going to get this done. But we did it. We pulled it together. We seized every opportunity by taking the steps that we knew were correct for us and listening to our inner guidance. Everything can flow. Everything can be good. We don't have to be lost in stress, frustration, and anger forever. So if those things are coming up right now, let them be reminders. Let them point you to the face of the space that is feeding those emotions. And cut them off. Cut them back. Cut them down. If you can't cut somebody off completely for whatever reason, just keep cutting it back. You may not be comfortable with cutting off the entire rose bush the very first time because you worked so hard to grow all of that. You just want it to live and be big and tall and proud and have so much, but it didn't need or it didn't have enough for all of that. It needed to be cut back. So do it in steps if you gotta, but work that ladder back. Work it on down. Slow it down. Focus your priorities, and when you're pouring into all of the things in your life that are important and require your water and your love, do it with steady hands. You can't be steady if you're unfocused. So get your goals together. Get in alignment. Take that spiraling circle, make it into a magic square. Aim at the face of the space and light a funeral pyre for it. So we're setting sail. We're coming to shore. And we're saying goodbye. Thanks, kids. Have a fantastic new moon. We'll see you next time.